Just the awkward silence for like a minute.
I don't know how to respond to that.
There's no response. Just let Nick have whatever he thinks he has.
Yeah. Let me have it, Janine.
Yeah, let him have it, and he can talk to himself on Discord alone. It's fine. We'll all run away.
I'll bother Chris in the morning, and it'd be like, Chris, I'm one of your also other children you have to take care of. Wah.
Technically, you are not Chris's child.
No, but I live
Technically, your babysitter and other mother are in this.
Yes.
As I'm realizing the fact that he's outsourcing.
But Lissa never bothers to take care of me. She just adopted me and then just does not do anything else. That's why she has you as a babysitter, which you have done the poor job at taking care of the rest of us.
Rude!
You were an
I have
adult.
taken care of the 4 of you while Kyle has been off with his Slurpee addiction.
He got over that.
Is he back in his Slurpee addiction now that he's back in the Americas?
No, he hasn't, but I think he might have slowly going to orange juice addiction soon. And Janine has been doing her job.
Alright, well,
Alright.
we'll pick this up hopefully next week. We shall see that.
Don't go on vacation again, Janine.
I'm not planning on it. I need to find a job soon.
Babysitting.
Good luck with that.
Use that degree.
Degree for babysitting.
Yeah.
God.
He took 4 years of college. 4? 5? 4? 4.
Dude, I've been in school for 8 years. I've been in higher education for 8 years.
Oh, right. Master's degree. Right. Use that master's degree of babysitting.
Oh right, master's degree.
No, you
Joke
don't.
about that, man.
Yeah. I know.
She worked her ass off.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm proud of her that she did. I'm glad she's actually out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she survived. That is the main thing. Janine has survived.
She's a survivor.
Nope.
Survived and graduated.
Survived and graduated. And
And-
now I just gotta survive the next year.
And now she's there to tell the tale later on.
Yep.
And tell everyone else to never take a master's degree.
Really think about what it is that you're master. And would not recommend taking a master's during COVID.
Oh God, no.
I would not take.
That was the
I
thing.
would not go to school during COVID. Personally, I would not.
Unfortunate, yeah.
Even if I had like billions of dollars, I would still not go to school during COVID.
Oh my God, it was so surreal. I'm so happy I never went to college or anything during COVID. But one of my coworkers, most of her schooling was during COVID. So I work in a laboratory, and she only ever had one class where she went in for like an actual laboratory class, because then COVID hit.
Dang.
And of course they no longer had laboratory classes. It was all online. So you basically she told me that what it was is that you basically were online on like Zoom or whatnot, and you were watching the professor perform the laboratory experiment.
That sounds
That sounds
bizarre.
boring as hell.
It sounds awful. So
Dude.
I'm
that
so
sounds
glad
Dude,
that I never had to do that.
I mean,
I had for us when COVID lockdowns hit, we were in the middle of our child psychology class, and we were supposed to do like sessions with children, like mock therapy sessions with children, which meant that because everything was on lockdown, but we still had to do the assignment, we had to do telehealth with children, which meant that we video called in with kids to get them
Oh
to
God.
like sit down and make art.
That collage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. With their attention spans. Oh my
Especially
God.
you're not
It
being
was
there.
you can't you also like kids, so like what do you do about sharp objects or if they start doing something stupid?
Hope their parents in the room.
Yeah, basically. But you also don't want their parents in the room because it's a mock therapy session.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's a
Yeah.
possible one.
Yeah. It was quite something.
Yeah, no, it's actually a little bit better going to schools now because it's just like more
Well, things
places.
have opened up.
Yeah, things have
so-
opened up,
Yeah,
so it's just
sorry.
like it's now better than it was like last year or 2 years ago. But yes, I am thoroughly happy I was not still in school when COVID hit. Otherwise, last year for me would have sucked.
Yeah. Alright, well, I'm gonna head off.
Good night, Chris.
Yeah,
Good
I
night,
gotta
Jamie.
get going too.
Bye.
But
No,
Jamie.
night,
no,
guys. It was
no,
a lot of
Lissa,
fun.
don't leave me.
Leave.
I'm leaving.
No, Lissa, don't leave me.
Okay, night, guys.
Good night.
Bye. See you next time.
See you next week, hopefully.
See you next week.
Hopefully. Bye.
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 I'm just wondering. As I'm gonna question, did Jamie please tell me she did not just close her computer? Chris, if you're still watching this, please tell your wife to close out her Discord.
She's muted.
She's muted, but that doesn't mean that she necessarily left.
No, I'm wondering if she muted instead of left the call.
I think that's what she did. She just took care of baby. Because I think she is doing the same thing as she did before. Is like she just closed or just left her computer and is taking care of
Yeah.
the child.
Yeah.
Which I mean, yes, it's important, but you can't have Jamie be here all night.
Well, I mean, if we leave, then she'll get kicked out, right?
No, she is the owner of the server, so technically speaking, she will not eventually leave.
Oh, does it not? Because I feel like Discord, if you're in a call by yourself, will at some point be like, that's enough bandwidth for you.
I'm not 100%
Yeah.
certain. It's all about settings, and I'm pretty sure Jamie
Oh.
never set up settings, so we don't have an AFK channel, and we don't have
Mine
a net-
just does. No, mine will just kick me out if I'm AFK for enough
Well, that
and
is
by myself.
well, that is if you're in a DM call, not a server call, I believe.
Am I on the server call? Okay. That could be.
Yeah, because like as far as I can tell, it's server calls are dependent on how the person set them up with, and DM calls, yeah, you're eventually up by.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, DM calls you eventually do leave if you're just by yourself.
Okay. I don't pay attention to anything.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do tonight, Janine? We can hang. I mean, you don't have school tomorrow. Which,
No, I don't.
it actually is.
I have gaming tomorrow.
Oh.
But that doesn't start until noon.
You know, it's actually kind of funny to hear. Like, it honestly is kind of weird, Janine, to say
Yeah.
that you don't have school tomorrow. Like, it really does.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. For as long as you've known me, I've always had like school in that week, basically.
Yeah, no, it's like when I first met you, you were at Western. We always had classes, like
Yeah.
no matter what. Yeah, literally, as far as I've known you, you've never stopped having classes.
I've always been in school.
It's kind of weird to say that now that you don't have that anymore.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts. I kind of want to do a PhD.
I mean, I plan to eventually go to masters, but that's not until like probably many years down the road because I plan to pay that off by myself, and I don't plan to ask my parents for it. And then when I'm in a more stable lifestyle, to spend like $50K for 2 years for a master's degree, then I'll be okay. So yeah, that's not happening for a long time for me, but Eventually, we'll think I'll go for it. I don't think I'm going to go for a PhD though.
I mean, fair, very, very fair. I don't know. I like the idea of having a PhD.
PhD sounds really cool, and you can do
Right?
a lot. Yeah, I mean, like,
Um, yeah, it sounds like it'd be a cool thing to do, but well, a cool thing to have,
Mhm.
a stressful thing to do, but who knows? Maybe by that point in time, I will have healed a little bit of the
Oh, yeah.
trauma that academia puts you through.
Oh yeah, I hope so. Like, personally for me, like actually, I plan to PhD. The only reason why I would get a PhD is to get the opportunity to do the research that I want to do. But even then, I don't necessarily need a PhD. It's more of like getting a job to do, like getting a specific, like trying to apply to that specific job that needs does all the researching that I'm interested in.
A PhD, there are several reasons to get a PhD, but you need to have that as a reason to get a PhD because otherwise it doesn't make sense to get
Yeah.
one.
No, that's why it's like for me, I like to research on my own, or like I can
Right.
I know I can like just start a research on my own. It's like it's not gonna be officially funded or whatnot, but it's not
Right.
illegal to do it. So it's
No, just whether or not you get publishing and whatnot.
yeah, and I think that's just more of like what I like to do for now.
Right? And I don't know. I just a lot of my family members have high degrees. So to me the idea of having a PhD is like a master's isn't unusual in my family, right? So having a PhD would be really fudging cool because it's that extra level. As if a master's isn't an extra level. Anybody who's listening, a master's is a really high degree. If you go for it, don't ever feel like you didn't do enough. It is a lot of work, and it is absolutely amazing
Yeah.
for people who manage to do it. And if you can't do it, that's okay too.
Yeah, agreed.
A master's is really something so specialized that you need to be doing it for a reason and not just because people told you to.
Yeah, and I joke around with people having masters, but I do legit agree with what Janine's saying. It is a serious and very difficult thing. Like she's making it sound it was easy. Like her 4 years of doing it was easy. No,
it was 3 years. 3 years. I took 5 years to finish undergrad.
Right. Yeah. So her years of doing masters was straight up not easy. I can tell you that. I know my brother did his masters and it was not easy. Like
there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah. And I've seen people with masters too. It's like it's not easy. And even with my degree when I want to go to with computer science, it's not going to be easy for me even if I know like well enough computer science or like the specific subject I want to go into research wise.
Right.
Yeah. No.
So it's important to have a reason why you go for a master's if you decide to go for it. Same with a PhD. I've heard that it's really, really tough and exhausting. And I know that I'm kind of insane for wanting to do a PhD.
Yeah, you are.
But I really like the idea of having a PhD, and I kind of like the idea of having a doctorate, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what it gives you.
Yeah.
But also, like, I know that I don't want to do it in therapy because I already have a degree in therapy, and it feels weird to get a PhD in therapy when I already have the degree that I need to practice.
Yep. Yeah.
So me wanting to do a PhD, it'll probably be in psychology. It'll still be in psychology, but I would want to specialize it in like cultural psychology or like a very specific disorder, but from a research standpoint, not a therapy standpoint.
Yeah, and that is a good reason too.
Right. It enhances what I've already been studying. It would be an intense look in a very specific subject that I have a lot of interest in. And the weird thing with psychology, it is very pop culture if you do research outside of a degree. It is really, because so many people are like, psychology said, when psychology doesn't actually say.
Yeah.
And so it's really weird to research certain topics if you're not like having classes in it. It's one of the few degrees where I'm like, you do need classes for this.
Yeah, the issue with PhDs, especially nowadays, is that I see it a little bit where you kind of need to go with more of the bandwagon of people. You can't do like your more unknown areas or untouched.
Yeah, you have to find somebody who's already doing research.
Yeah, that's the issue. It's like if you want to do an area that you're interested in, but it's like barely or like never touched.
Yeah.
It's nearly impossible to do anything like that. Like
Yeah.
you need to make a very big stepping stone in it in order for anybody to have any interest in it. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time almost and money.
Yeah. Wait, you have a credits in physics and theater?
I do? What? No?
No, Void Lord.
Oh, James. Yeah.
Sorry,
not
I
reading
actually
chat.
have your stream up again.
No, I was not reading chat. I was looking at
No.
something. I think. Yeah.
No, you're good. I
Ja-
just happen to have it open because.
James. Credits.
Does
in
that
physics?
mean like a theater physics degree? Or oh, okay.
Oh yeah. No, I actually do like. Here's the thing. I genuinely do like science, like like general science.
Right?
I like the sense of biology, physics, and chemistry. Like I joke around with biology, yes, and I've joked around with like even on stream saying like, oh, I hated biology because like, oh, we're gonna dissect things and like frogs and blah blah, because like that was like the thing that they like media always done. But I do genuinely like biology, but I don't like it as much as computer science. Like that's my
get
stance.
that. I was really fudging good in my high school biology class, and I sucked at my chemistry class, but that was just because I was doing IB chemistry.
Yeah.
But like there was such a high chance I would end up in a hard science or a computer science.
Mm.
Yeah, right, James. There's just certain degrees have just more interesting people.
I did that with like some of my classes. Like I only took certain classes because I genuinely like not only like had an interest in the subject, but also like the people made it worth it.
Right?
Yeah.
And the more that my mom talks about what it's like to be a woman in computer science, the more I'm glad I dodged that bullet, because I think if I hadn't figured out that I wanted to do psychology, I would have studied computer science. There was such a high chance of that.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with your mother in that regard. There's a lot of that, but I'm making sure that I want to make sure that that doesn't happen with anything that I ever do.
It's definitely getting better.
It's definitely getting better. It's just you need more movement from things in order to make it like even better for a lot of people, instead of like being like, until this said company gets called out, they're not going to really do too much about it.
Right. My mom has so many stories of like guys doing like interviews from their bedroom. Like the interviewer is in their bedroom.
Oh, you did not I never told you this, but you know what was funny? That my brother had like a job before he went to school, and it was funny because like he was interviewed, and he was like all in the suit and everything, because that's what my parents would do. That's all our parents would tell us, like you have to be overdressed and stuff.
Still dress nicely for interviews. But,
yeah.
You know.
But this was on the Zoom call, or like call and like phone call and everything. Like, and the interviewer was like, "Oh, thank God you actually are taking this seriously," because apparently there were like, I think there were two other people before him that were like, one was like got called, and it was just like, oh, I didn't realize my interview was today. He's like, I mean, like, you should really make sure. I always double check my interviews no matter what. Like, I always do it every
Right,
single
same.
day. Yeah, it's like I'm making sure, like, is it this day? Is it this day? Is it this day? And it's like always confirm. But the other person was honestly by far the most inexcusable one in my opinion. They called up on the road, as in they pulled over their car, and they were clearly just doing a phone call in their own car, in the out in like on the street and everything.
Oh man.
It's like you cannot mess that much up. Like you really
No,
cannot. Like
really can't.
yeah, it's like
But like that's just kind of. I think I'm trying to remember. I think it was like really, really early on in my mom's like career. And I can't remember if it was like over a Zoom call or if like the interview actually took place in this dude's bedroom.
oh no.
But like the interviewer was like interviewing from his bed.
Yeah.
And he was interviewing my mom. Like he was interviewing a woman while he was sitting on bed. Like it's just and then there's like a ton of other stories that she has from just such an industry. And the more I hear, again, the more that I hear about it, whenever she complains about it, the more I'm so glad that I am not putting myself through fighting through the mess that is that.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, yeah, I think it's like still not the greatest right now, but I definitely.
It's getting better.
Yeah, it's getting better. And it's like I don't like. It's one of those things that I will still vouch for certain companies being like. There are companies that do fairness, and those are companies I will like always vouch. It's just unfortunately it's hard to find those because they're in the sea of all other different types of companies too.
Yeah.
So it's like yeah, it's like it's not easy. If you went to a computer science degree and you had it and you try to find a job, I would always recommend just going for the smaller ones because those are generally a lot easier to have less of a discrimination for sure. So there's that.
But yeah. So
Stories about workplaces.
yeah, stories about fields.
Fields. I mean, I don't regret going like I don't regret going to computer science. It's legit like one of my favorite subjects for sure. I didn't think I was gonna go to computer science until like I went to high school and they were like, you should start thinking about what field you want to go to. And I didn't think about what field I want to go to because I didn't like English. I didn't like history that much. Like those two were my least favorite subjects. But I was like, I guess I could do like other sciences, and then I took a computer science class in like high school, and then I instantly fell in love with it. I think was it computer science? Yes, it was a simple computer science, and then it's like I took engineering, which is a little different because I thought that was computer science, but no, it's engineering. It's like modeling and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, no, computer science is actually a legit subject I've wanted. I wanted it when we went into university. I wanted to get into those classes, but it was not until like they weren't reformed enough that I still had problems with getting into a lot of like classes. History would be a lot more interesting if it has more focus. Yeah, like it's also like the thing about history is like I would like history more about the different perspectives of history, because we talk about like very specific events and how things happen, but not like how it affected both sides, kind of thing. All sides.
I always really liked the stories, but like I couldn't do the memorization. I sucked at memorizing dates and people and stuff like that. Like that was just, oh god.
I mean,
Ugh.
I could do the memorization. That's why I kind of like chemistry, cause like you think about chemistry and like history, they were like kind of like memorization in a lot of ways, where you just like memorize memorize what are specific formulas, which you don't really have to do too much calculations with, and what are the chemicals in the periodic tables and
Oh,
stuff.
I had so much fun with the calculations in chemistry.
Oh yeah.
I was also, as hard as this is to believe, I actually was and probably still am really good at math.
Oh, I love math. But, dude, like, I legit
I-
wanted to get a minor in math, but due to many reasons, I never got that. But I basically don't have the degree to say that I have a minor in math, but I'm pretty much a minor in math, pretty much, is what I would say.
I probably, if high school hadn't screwed me so much when it came to my math, because I thought I was so dumb. I legitimately thought that I was an idiot when it came to math because of my high school math classes.
Yeah,
I
get that.
Because I was so, and I say this very sarcastically, so smart in the fact that I took higher level IB math. And like, I didn't realize this until very recently when my brother pointed it out, because he also had the same math teacher as I did. But that math teacher wasn't very good at teaching math.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
wasn't very good at teaching. She was great at math, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah, no, I know that.
But like, I was surrounded by a bunch of other students whose parents probably put in like a lot of money or effort to make sure that they were good, like really, really good at what they were at like their classes. So I was very lost very frequently as to what was happening. And you know, I'm like a high schooler who's taking 3 years of pre-calc or calc. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that's fair, James. But like, so like basically it was kind of like I literally thought that I was dumb when it came to math. And I'm saying this because I really do. I know that I need to make sure that I keep putting this in perspective, but like, due to a mix-up in my middle school, I only managed to get to. So I did algebra 1 for all 3 years of middle school, and then I took geometry when I got to high school finally, and then I did a year's worth of algebra 2 in one summer.
Oh, yeah.
While traveling. Like, I did not always have good internet connection. There was other things going on. I think I got A's in both semesters. They actually changed it so that you couldn't take like a year of math in one summer, because I'm pretty sure most people who did that did not do well.
Probably not.
So I got like an A for like basically a self-study math class, right? And then I took 3 years, and that was so that I could take 3 years of pre-calc in high school. And I have to put that in perspective because like I was not a good student, but like the fact that I was able to do that even shows that I must have been good at math.
Yeah, no, that definitely does. I actually thinking about that. If I like, one of those things is that I've learned, especially when we got in university and I got to meet you guys, was more learning about what ADHD really does to affect people. And I always thought that I was just really bad at subjects. I was lazy and always just an idiot, because that's what's like always I was surrounded by smart people and they were able to get through stuff with no problems, kind of thing. And that's kind of how I was grown up with. And I started to learn that a lot of my problems I was having was that I was just having difficulty my brain having able to do certain things. Like here's the thing, like algebra 2, I legit was acing every single test, like every single quiz, every single thing in that class. Like I didn't study, but I always got like over 90% on all my tests. Nothing. And then I just failed to turn any of my homework.
Yep.
I literally legit, I failed to turn almost any of my homework. I got like failing grades. Not failing grades in terms of that, but I barely passed that class because of that. And it's just like, I always thought it's like, oh, maybe I'm just like not great at it and all that stuff, because I like math and I had to retake certain math classes, but after realizing it, there was a lot of things about me learning about what ADHD really is. This really caused me to be like, okay, well, maybe I should have sought more help about my ADHD so I can help be able to enjoy like a lot of other math, because I do enjoy math. Like one of my actually legit favorite math classes I've taken in Western was a proofs class. Difficult. It was very competitive. Like you had to fight for proofs. Huh?
I can't do proofs.
Oh,
it's too much writing.
No, yeah, proofs is not easy for everyone, but I genuinely really enjoyed proofs. I genuinely did. It's a lot of work, and it's like it was super competitive too, because like the teacher was like, you have to do these problems, and each of these have like 1 to 3 points, 3 being the highest, the hardest ones, and 1 being the easy ones, and then you have to be like above the curve and everything. Like I was able to do that, but it was a bit of a fight because I was trying to do some, and I was a little slow. But then like some people would just keep going up. It's like, I'm gonna do the easy ones, and they would take all, like the same people would always take the easy ones, only the easy ones.
Yeah.
And it's just really like, come on, I wanted to do some of those at least. And then it's just like, it was just a bit of a struggle, but I did genuinely like that class. I passed the class, and I was like, proves something like I did genuinely enjoy, because it does give a weird perspective about math that all is about like memorizing formulas and making sure that they are right, because math hasn't changed over like hundreds of years.
Dude, so much of math doesn't even matter. Like the numbers don't technically matter. Like it's the equations that are mattering. So if you can explain why an equation works the way that it does, that is so valuable.
Exactly. And that's what, like, math is simple. Like, history is ever change. It's like history can change based on perspectives and like how you memorize things. And computer science is ever changing. Oh, that thing is ever changing.
Psychology fortunately doesn't change as quickly as computer science does, but we're still such a new field that is still constantly learning from itself.
I mean, to be fair, I never learned anything about ADHD. Like, I never saw much about ADHD online until recent years, honestly.
Yeah. I'm really glad that, like, talking about ADHD and like, other mental health, things has become more popularized.
Oh, yeah.
Because it makes it more accessible to people. There's so much misinformation out there, but
agreed.
The fact that it's a conversation that people will actually have is just beautiful.
You know what's funny is that I honestly thought ADHD was such a rare thing. Like,
it is not, right?
Oh yeah, no, like it actually is a bit of a culture shock right now. Like it still is actually legitly. Because
like I still wonder though if like it gets a little bit overdiagnosed, and I'm pretty sure the self-diagnosis is like rampant and a lot of the times not accurate, but like
yeah, like ADHD, I feel like it's still a very gray area whether you do have it or not. And it's like there's no solid like categorization for it, because there's so much stuff we still need to learn. But yeah, I legit, when my parents told me I had ADHD, I thought it's all about hyperactivity. That's it.
Oh no.
Like they legit just thought it was just that, and I thought it was that for like years. And it's like, okay, I'm starting to learn that it's not just hyperactivity. But like when I started to learn that, okay, like Sean, like, not like Carl had it, and like other people had it, kind of thing, like in a friend group.
Yeah.
I was like,
So I'm not surprised that our friend group has a decent number of people that have
yeah, I
it.
was like, okay, there's a couple more people who have ADHD. And then like after university, it's like people start coming out. It's like, I have ADHD. I have ADHD. YouTubers I've watched, celebrities I've watched have ADHD. It's like, what is going on? Is this something like? It's like it's legit coming to my brain sometimes to be like, are people lying that they have ADHD, or is it like people are legit like finding out they have ADHD? So, like I mean yes, it's like yes to like kind of like yes to at least they're finding out, because I've seen some people on Twitter be like, I'm 40 years old and I never knew I had ADHD. Like it's one of those things I'm starting to discover. It's like it's not that rare as I thought it was. Like it is actually kind of surprising, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a big thing, is that people are like, oh, this behavior is clearly a hallmarker that you have ADHD. It's the sense that like it's the sense, and I'm not saying that I have ADHD. I do ADHD.
You do have ADHD or do you not?
I do not. I
Okay.
do not. But it's the sense of certain people are like, I have ADHD, I do this thing, therefore it must be an ADHD thing.
Yeah.
And other people see that and are like, oh, I do that thing.
Yeah, that's
So clearly it must be because I have ADHD. And it's usually that they see multiple things that kind of like fall along those lines and are like, oh, but like your symptoms don't necessarily mean that you have the cause, and oftentimes a lot of the things that people say are symptoms aren't actually symptoms of it.
yeah, no,
They're just common in people who have neurodivergency.
Yep.
Or are something that you realize that you've never spoken out about because it's something that most people just don't generally talk about.
I mean, I've learned really recently, but I've learned in recent years that autism and ADHD have like
there's a
similar I don't want to say symptoms, but I guess like similar actions, I guess. So it's like it's one of those like it's hard to properly
Overlapping symptoms.
Overlapping
Behaviors.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. And it's like it's hard to diagnose because there's not much research, and researching that is more nowadays when we could have done it like years ago. Speaking of like also when James said like medication, I honestly am in the same boat with him. Like I legit don't know what to look for when it comes to medication, because like I've tried medication before. Like there's 2 times I've done medication in my life now. One time when I was like really young, that my mom and my dad put me on, but my dad thought I was like not like, because like I changed my mind because like I was not moving so much, I was like not hyperactive, I was not smiling, blah 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 in his eyes. But my mom said like I was more like focused, I was actually reading a book, because nowadays it's really hard for me to even read a book personally. So
Fair enough. That takes a lot of concentration.
yeah, but he says like I used to take it, and I think it was like Adderall, but I tried again in like probably last year, and I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel much different. But I also was taking small doses. I did not know if I was taking enough dosage or not. Like, the thing about medication is that I don't know, one, if I'm taking the enough medication to say it really affects me, and I also don't know if it like really is affecting me per se, because
So I'm gonna really hope that you went to a psychiatrist
psychiatrist, yeah, sorry.
to get your medication.
Yeah, I did, psychiatrist.
And that you didn't self-diagnose.
Oh, no.
Dose.
No, I did not self-dose. No, I did not.
Especially for Adderall.
Yeah, I did not.
Most ADHD medication. So see, that's a question to pose to a psychiatrist.
Yeah, I was gonna get a second diagnosis because the other one was like really quick on some things, but yeah, like I took it, and I didn't have anything to do during that time. Like Emoto, I was talking to Emoto about this earlier, and she says that yeah, there could have been an issue of I wasn't busy or I wasn't doing anything like really something I really wanted to focus on. And that's like the issue is like, yeah, I was kind of forcing myself to find something to focus on, but I was like, is this something I really need to focus on, or is it not? And like it was the issue of like it was not a great time for me to really take a medication in a sense. But I don't know. Yeah, that's like an issue.
Part
like,
of it is like, what do you want out of the medication? Because the purpose of a medication is to help you, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of need to know what is it that you're like. Why are you taking medication? And I'm not against medication. I mean, I think that you do have to think about it a little bit more than just like, I'm just gonna pop some pills.
Yeah.
And this is always a conversation that you should be having with your like 100%. You should talk to your psychiatrist and like figure out
Pills here.
figure out like what exactly it is that you want, but also what is it that like the medication will do.
Yeah.
And a psychiatrist will be able to explain that way better than I can, because I don't have the education behind like what exactly medication does. Again, like that's why a psychiatrist, not your therapist. Actually, even technically, even like your PCP can prescribe certain medications.
Yeah.
Mental health things. I would still recommend a psychiatrist instead, because they are well versed in that. But if there's limitations, then a PCP should be able to help you. But like, you gotta know what it is exactly that your medication is supposed to do. Because otherwise, how are you gonna know if it's working?
Yeah, and that's like another thing is like he was so vague on like it's like he says like you will know when it activates, and it's like
great.
Okay.
What is it supposed to be doing? What are you taking it for?
Yeah, it's like I mean I was taking it to see if I can help focus on a little more things.
Okay.
Or at least help reinvigorate like myself of like I need to focus on these things like reading a book or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that's what I wanted to go more focusing, more like controlling my focus on things instead of like I'd stare at one thing and be like, I'm bored in 10 minutes. All right, what else I want to do? And it's just like, that's not what I want to do. Like, that's what I wanted my focusing on. But he was like, yeah, you need to focus on this thing. Like, you need to, it will click when you focus. Like, you need to try to focus, but it will click. And it was just like, what's the click?
Yeah.
I asked Mike what his, like, I know everyone's different. But I asked like Mike, I asked Carl briefly like what are their clicks a little bit just to get a sense of it, and they were so vague about it. Which I mean, to be fair, yes, it's a very hard topic or question to pinpoint. But it's like I wanted something to at least know like when it really clicks, and I felt like when the last one I took, I thought I felt something click potentially. But I don't know because I didn't take it long enough. I thought I might need to take a little bit more or a little bit longer, just to see if it actually is working. But unfortunately, the trial run ended, and it's like, well, okay again. I can't really do much.
Yeah.
This is why I'm planning to get a second opinion. Like I really do want a second opinion because that was very unsatisfactory like results for me.
Yeah.
Like I would be more satisfied if we tried a lot and we did a lot
you don't want to try too much.
Yeah.
I don't think that your psychiatrist for you based off of how you're talking about it.
Yeah, he wasn't for me, but I was like I wanted a little bit more results and testing, just not too much, of course, because that is prescription medication. I should not do too much about that.
Right, like you don't want to be constantly changing it, and there are safer ways to go about transitioning medication to the trying it out.
Yeah, I'm also worried about like the sudden mood changes I might get with certain ones. Like I know I've heard some of them like that's what I was slightly worried at the time because I was like a legit because at the time I was like dating someone and I was just like I was telling her it was like yeah I might go into certain mood changes in certain these cases like I was warning her in a couple of them when I was thinking about it actually. But yeah, it's not. It
When medication messes with you, and there's a high chance of getting.
Yeah, and I didn't want to hurt anybody with my sudden mood changes or like be a total a-hole towards them. So it was like I was telling people like this is going through, and I want you guys to at least check on me to make sure that I wasn't unknowingly doing something that was concerning.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, the 2 medications I took and had not changed my mindset at all. So
That's good. That's one of the reasons why I say that like if you're taking medication for your mental, you should also be seeking therapy at the same time.
sure.
For basically all mental health medications, because it can affect how you engage with the world. But also sometimes there are underlying things like a lot of things that come. So I'm not against medication for ADHD, but there's a lot of stuff with ADHD where part of that is just also learning how you best navigate through the world.
Yeah.
And having a therapist who sit down and be like, okay, go through coping skills. Let's go through ways that you engage with the world. Let's go through how can we combat the things that are like, or how can we address things that are like a struggle to you, because what I've heard about ADHD medication is that sure it makes you focus, but it doesn't necessarily mean that like you get to always choose what you focus on.
That's kind of how ADHD in general, at least for me, has
Right.
been. Because like here's the thing. Gaming, for example, that requires me focusing. Like,
Yeah.
that requires me focusing, but I can game for a while, like non-stop. I mean, my streams are one reason why they do that. I can do that, and that's what I focus on. But that's not always what I want to focus on. Like when it comes to streams, I focus on it long enough. Like that's how streams have been pushing me to do more gaming. But when I do it by myself, or like doing other stuff that like doesn't like, this is actually how my brain works. Actually, I've learned over the years. Like if there isn't something that capitalizes me need to do it in a sense, I don't capitalize it enough. So like streaming, for example, I can stream for long hours because I need to at least do something about it. Like I can't just be sitting here just nonchalantly just streaming nothing. I feel like I need to do something, so I game and do all that stuff. I chat with people. The other part is like with like work and like homework. Those I push myself more because those actually have due date. Those have consequences if I don't do the stuff. Kind
There's
of
an
thing.
external factor.
Yeah, the external factor. So, if an example of this, Janine, is if you told me that, told me to read a book, for example, right? You don't give me a date, you don't give me any consequences, and you just said, you should read this book, you should read this book. I very likely will keep pushing it towards, like, the end of time. Until I actually sit down and actually go through a lot of it. Like,
Yeah, you'll never get through it.
I mean,
There's no reason to.
yeah, like, I feel bad because there's something else I need to do something with for you as well that I can...
Don't worry, I still have a thing on the back burner that I was supposed to do.
Yeah, there's
So
a lot.
We're
There.
equal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I've been trying to do, but it's like I know this is like I know I've been trying to do them, but I know this also because of my ADHD. I don't want to like. Here's the thing about me with saying ADHD now. It's like I know there's like legit excuses with ADHD, but I personally am starting to hate myself being like, yes, this is ADHD reasoning for me not being able to do this stuff, because it's like I also feel like it's part of me that I can do this stuff if I have a, I guess you could say, good external push. that makes me feel like I have to do this. If I don't do it, then something bad will happen. Like, it can't just be like a friend casually being like, I'm here to keep bothering you about it. No, it has to be some kind of solid thing, like work. If I don't do the work, I get fired. If I don't do the homework, I'm not going to graduate with my bachelor's. Like,
Yeah.
Something has to be a serious
You
external
need
thing.
a tangible. You need
Yeah.
something tangible. A friend being like, "I'm here for you," a tangible thing. It's like, all right, you're here.
It's like it's not
You're
tangible
bothering
enough.
me.
Yeah, it's not tangible enough. Like, I appreciate and I do want friends to be around when I do stuff. Like, I really legit do. That's why I try to do like writing sessions, talk, and like other stuff, and that's legit what I want to do. And that's why I have this, but it's not enough. Just barely not enough to push me for that. But I've been getting better with it. That's why I've been trying to do some like editing sessions with Carl when he's doing it, and other sessions that I've barely been able to push myself to a point where I might be able to find something.
Really quick, do you want to answer the person that's
Yeah, I was gonna
in
say.
chat?
Yeah, Sai, how you doing?
Sorry.
I mean, we were originally doing some D&D sessions, and we were talking like we ended that off like probably an hour ago at this point.
Yeah, hour and a half ago.
Yeah,
Ish.
but we've been chatting random stuff. And we're on a topic of like mental health, like ADHD and kind of stuff like
It's
that.
my fault. I can't stop talking about mental
Oh
health.
no, I legit like talking about this stuff, man. Like, I really do. I legit like to know more information and especially learn more about myself. I mess with that for real. Yeah, like it's one of those things is that we just like chat after D&D a little bit, but
Yeah, especially when I'm not having to rush off to bed because
That's-
it's fun.
yeah, that's also true. Like Janine, you like when we were doing D&D for like yeah, it's been about like a year. No, it's
Yeah, we've been doing D&D for a little over a year.
yeah, a little over a
Just
year.
honestly impressive for how bad we are about meeting up that we continue to campaign this long.
I mean, to be fair, it's surprising that even any of our characters are still around after that whole shindig.
That's true too.
I mean, I should have died multiple times. Zaris had multiple opportunities to die. I don't know about your character dying. I actually legit...
I'm pretty good about not dying, even though I do really stupid things.
Yeah, I think it's mainly me and Lissa's characters that had very close encounters of dying, and also Jamie technically, because that one time we kept shoving her potions.
Oh my god, something that I've realized because I keep playing TTRPGs when I'm tired is that when I'm really tired or really exhausted, I go so heavily into like therapy mode.
Yep.
For other characters, it is. I've literally given an anxiety assessment to character in game before because I just didn't have the energy to deal with anything.
Mm-hmm. No, I get
So
that.
it's like I'll just give an assessment to this clearly panic attack having character. Yeah.
But going back with that slight tangent, but yeah, ADHD, we've been talking about it, and I was like talking more about like
Right.
how
You need to figure out how to cope
Yeah.
with your own.
I mean, like I'm more fine with talking about other ADHD, but yeah, I've been like over like
We can talk more generally. You do not need to go into.
oh no,
Deep
I mean like for me it's like it's fine. I'm just like wondering if everyone's comfortable with it. Is all.
You know me, but
Yeah.
I guess if anybody's uncomfortable with it, they can sound off in chat.
That's true. Yeah, but
Um,
yeah, no, I've been trying to discover it for like past 8 years, because like 2014, like literally Emoto and like all of you guys, like look, no joke, helped introduce the concept of like there's more to ADHD than just being hyperactive.
oh, 100%.
Like
Yeah.
I was legit. Like when I said like I had ADD and ADHD, because that's just my parents told me, and the ADHD is like hyperactivity. Like that's all I thought it was. Like attention deficit like was the other one. It's like okay, I can't pay attention well. That's all I thought ADHD and ADD were. Like for the longest time.
there's so much discussion because ADHD and ADD don't really cover, like, it doesn't really cover what all it is. Like, it really, there's so much more to it, and there's so many different aspects to it. I mean, even just recently, we had to, like, the psychology community had to, like, come to terms with the fact that, like, you can't be, like, I think it's, like, attentive versus inattentive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's not a thing in the way that it's been described. Because again, psychology is it's basically like a baby. It's like maybe a toddler in like research age, or like research field age. It's still so new. We're still learning so much stuff, but everybody has both attentive and inattentive. You can't just have one or the other. But we had to figure that out. That, like, it's not realistic for there to just be this.
Yeah.
So, like, even that is still, like, evolving our understanding of what the fudge ADHD even is, what impact it has, and how do you, like, people can live with it, obviously.
Oh yeah.
And people can be just fine living with it, but, like, taking into account how can you live a better life for yourself in the world that we have.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, really interesting coping mechanisms, like fudging body doubling, is absolutely fascinating.
Oh wow.
For ADHD. And it doesn't work for everybody. Because everybody has a different way that they engage. Like, I've got a friend who has ADHD. She can't do body doubling. Oh, is it EDM right now?
It's a little bit of EDM right now, yeah.
Love that. So body doubling is when you have somebody else in the room. So, like, say for example, you need to clean up, right?
Yeah.
A task that it can be really, really, like, hard to start.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
really distracting, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not an easy task, especially if you don't have the attention, like, if you can't keep the attention span for that. And, like, I can only imagine how poorly that goes, because I've done cleaning, but, like, when I clean, it's a struggle too.
Oh, so certain cleanings for me are actually not that hard for me to get started. It's depending on the environment, but I can go into detail of that later, depending on
Yeah,
what
so
you say.
so, like, but as an example, cleaning, right?
Yeah.
So cleaning, so, like, say that you have to clean. Sometimes what really helps people with ADHD is having somebody else in the clean. They don't have to be doing anything. They don't have to be engaging with you. They can literally just be sitting, like, on your bed, like, typing away at their, like, reading something, typing away at their computer, whatever. They don't have to be doing anything in relation to the cleaning. But by having that person in the room with you, sometimes that sort of, I don't know what the mechanics are behind it. I don't know what the science is behind it, but sometimes that makes it so that you can then do the task. Or like if you need to study, but you can't get yourself to concentrate while you're alone, having somebody else there, I don't know, playing, like, doing something on their own, but in the room with you, knowing that you're supposed to study, sometimes that helps, like, keep you focused for some reason.
So what I've been doing is actually kind of bother doubling, because I actually did something similar, but it's more of like, I know for a fact, guaranteed, that if I were to do something like cleaning or studying a certain subject, if the person was doing about the same thing, I can easily do all that instantly. Like, it's easy focus. But I know there's certain things about it, like, I can get easily distracted, like them playing games or whatnot. But if they're studying at the same time too, there's, like, that slight expectation of just, like, not being too distracting for them, or like ruining that expectation, is like, that's what helps push me a little bit, just slightly, like that.
So I've got a friend who can't. Body doubling does not work for her, and the reason is because she would get distracted. Because to her, like, she understands, like, having somebody there would help her do the thing, but she would feel like she would need to cater to the person. She would need to engage the person. And then she'd end up talking to the person. And then she can't clean up because she's talking to the person.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work for her because there's too many other layers to it. Which is why not all ADHD tricks for every person. But like there's some people who there are people who will have like there will be people who have their friends like text them and be like, hey, I'm coming over in 10 minutes. And by doing that, that's how they manage to clean their room, because there's that consequence of this person's going to come over. I have to have a room for them to come over.
Sounds like a Pokemon.
And it's not like it's maybe not as tangible as you need it to be, but for some people that works as like because it's a deadline, it's like a short amount of time. It just has to happen.
Yeah. Like.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the person can like totally cancel and be like, hey, no, you just told me to message you once a month that I'm coming over in 10 minutes, and if you're forgetful enough, then that works, right? Sounds like a Pokemon.
See, the issue with...
I feel like it is. Is it not?
Sounds like it, yeah. But see, the issue with that, for example, Janine, is that if you... So if... The brazen invasion, yeah. If you were to do something like that to me, right?
Yeah.
Say that even if you were not far away, like you were like literally like a 10-minute drive away from me, all right? Say like, you said like every single like day that I had to do something, like you would say like I'm coming over, be there in like 10-15 minutes or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I would know that unless it's a guaranteed thing you're coming over, I will still not do it, because there's that mindset of like, I know that you're just saying that because to get me to Earth.
Oh no, you have to, again, that's why I said if you have bad enough memory, it works, because
bad enough memory.
You're thinking that it's actually going to happen.
Yeah, like bad enough memory is
you need
one
to
thing.
believe that there is actually going to be the consequence of coming up your home not being clean.
Yeah, like body doubling is just better than stuff. Yeah, I guess. But yeah, that's the issue. It's like I do like having good memory, but it also ruins that kind of things where it's like, this is also the problem with like waking up.
I mean, you can schedule somebody to like actually come over.
I mean, I wish I could.
Will.
I mean, I wish I could every single day. Like that's a thing, but it is, yeah. But one of those things is also like I know that some people would like put their clocks ahead of time for like alarms and stuff. That doesn't work for me either. Like,
oh, I can't.
Yeah, it's like 30 minutes ahead on my car or whatever, and it's like that doesn't work for me because I have that mindset. It's like, oh, it's just only because it's 30 minutes ahead. Like I put that there. It's like I still have time. It's like, no, that does not work at all. Like, things have to happen for me in order for it to actually affect me. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time and effort, honestly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Again, like self-motivation, and that's one of the things that I really do want to research and like actually do research into, because there must be somebody who's done papers on it, but like putting motivation and like how do you get somebody to start a task? How do you get yourself to start a task? Because that's such an interesting point. Because to do anything, you have to get yourself to start, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of tricks out there for neurodivergent and neurotypical people.
I do know that starting is the biggest hurdle, because like for me, there's a couple ways. Like going back to the idea of like me doing tasks like for cleaning, for example. So here's the thing. Like there are chores that we do. Like you can say dishes, vacuuming, cleaning off dust, or like mowing the lawn or whatnot, right? Certain tasks I can do actually from start to finish almost, right? And that's like yard work, like like lawn mowing is like one of those like I can actually legit from start to finish. Like if I start it, that's the first hurdle and that's the only hurdle that I really need to do. Cause like I'll start and finish it no matter how big the lawn is. It's annoying sometimes, but I'll do it. And I have my music that helps me. And clean dishes, it's the same. I do the dishes, it's clean, and I do a lot. I've done dishes that for over an hour, and I've completed it. Now, when it's other stuff like yard work where I have to do like planting, pulling weeds, and or vacuuming sometimes, like it's not just the first hurdle of starting, it's the hurdle of maintaining it. That's also a thing, because then I have the opportunity of just like sitting down and doing stuff. Like for phone, like that's another difficulty I've had.
Okay, so I've heard. Okay, caveat, please don't what I say is not mental health advice. I am not your therapist.
What? You're not my
yada
therapist?
yada.
Yanni?
I'm not your therapist. I'm not anybody's therapist who's listening.
Nani? I'm sad.
I do need to say this now,
because
I'm no longer a student.
We're no one's therapist. Please, if you actually need
no one's therapist.
If you
right,
actually
please seek
help.
actual help.
We're just here, people just like theorizing and trying to give small advice, but not actual helpers.
Okay, I appreciate that write-up so much.
Mm-hmm.
The body doubling, non-damage type move.
That is actually really cool. Side.
Beautiful, beautiful.
No, you're not lying. That's actually pretty cool. That's actually legit pretty cool.
I 100%, if you want to just go through and coping mechanisms and just write up Pokemon descriptions for them, that would be amazing. God, that's actually really cool. Sorry.
Yeah, no, keep going, Janine.
Too much of a nerd.
Yeah.
Brain short circuited.
Oh no, we were talking about how I could not continue tasks, like something like hurdles and stuff, and you're getting onto that idea.
Right. So hurdles of tasks. Oh God, that's not jump starting enough, close enough to where we were.
You want me to restart my conversation on that? My help?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, so basically I was to remind you and everyone else, I can do certain tasks, the first hurdle I go through with doing anything is starting it, right? And that sometimes is easy, just...
Oh, I got it.
I've
got it. Okay, so I've heard this... Mind you, take this with a grain of salt. Part of this is from other psychology professionals talking about it on social media, which always take that with a large grain of salt. But I feel like there is some legitimacy behind it, in at least for people who have autism and ADHD, because autism requires routine and ADHD requires spontaneity. Rather than having routines, having ritual, which is when you do A, you then have to do B, and maybe sometimes it's if you do A, then you have to do B and then C, and it's tying it to something that you already do daily, rather than having this is the routine of the day, having a let's say when you brush your if you're trying to get yourself to wash your face, be every single time, but you already have you're brushing your teeth regularly, be every single time that you brush your teeth you have to wash your face. So connecting it to something that you already are doing regularly, not even regularly, just something that you do frequently enough, or as frequently as you want to be doing the other tasks. It's just combining the things, which can be, don't get me wrong, creating any habit is fudging a nightmare. I'm not anti-habit, I've just struggled myself. Because I can't do habits.
I can't have a habit. You said I can't have a habit.
Oh my God, as soon as I try to create a habit, I can keep with it for a week, And if anything in my schedule
I-
slightly disrupts that habit, it is out the window.
I could actually legit going on that. Like, I legit can understand that. Streaming, for example, I know I've been doing for like 4 years now, right? Consistently. And even if I skip a couple years, like couple like weeks, it's fine. I can go back to it immediately. Dude, when I first started this, back in like the idea of going back in 2014, 2012 to 2014, I struggled starting it and also maintaining it. Like, I legit, that's why like at the early parts, I needed like Carl to be with me. I needed people to be there. And I needed to do it. Otherwise, I could not maintain it. Like, I legit needed people. That's why I was like, I'm glad with so many of you guys being in my early days, just being there, I actually managed to do streaming so consistently enough that I can actually do this on a solo run if I really wanted to.
I really like the fact that you have those of us of your friend group just on your streams. I think it's so much fun. Even though I'm terrible about making time for it.
Yeah. Fine. I mean, it's always at the same time. At least Saturdays is always at the same time. I always make sure Saturdays is always
Saturdays is always at the same time. I need to really write down like what your schedule is. So now that I'm in the same time zone, that might be a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, it's the only the other stream days that I'm planning on. That's going to be random, but Saturdays will always be freedom. Free
Good
time.
to know.
Yep.
So I actually enjoy that it's multiple of us and that we get to hang out.
Yeah, for sure. I don't want to take it away from us. Like, I always want to have a day where we can just hang out and do whatever, even if it's just us literally talking crap about Fairhaven or whatnot.
Oh my god. They have a new dorm.
Oh no.
I have things to say that I probably shouldn't say on a stream.
We can talk about that later.
About that whole
yeah, we can talk about that later.
Anyway, so like not because it's bad, just because it's not appropriate for a stream. So like creating a habit is really tough, and you need like multiple things to like be there to keep a habit.
Yeah.
There needs to be consequences, there needs to be rewards, and also you need to like not have shame come into play, because the more that you shame yourself, the less likely you are to do the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's the issue.
Got it. So yeah, no, I get it. Like, habits are really, really hard to implement, but there are certain ways that you can condition yourself into doing the thing. But you have to learn how you can condition yourself, and that's not that easy.
Oh no, I haven't been having help with a lot of my stuff, and so I've been trying to discover every single bit, and it's been a struggle. Like, I have not seen therapists. Not saying I don't like therapists. Therapy is...
It's hard to find the right one.
It's also, therapy is expensive, okay?
That too. I mean, hey, state, if you've got Medicaid, that does actually cover therapy. It's just hard to find a therapist that can take Medicaid.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna look for
Not even joking about that. Like,
oh yeah,
Medicaid covers your therapy. You just need to find a therapist who, because the stupid thing is that in order for a therapist to cover Medicaid, they have to have the right qualifications and have to go through like a whole extra like thing. Which is, I understand why. It's a good thing, but it's also fudging ridiculous.
No, I get that, and it's one of those things that it's definitely one of those, like, I don't plan on not doing in the future.
Yeah.
But it's probably not going to be something in the immediate future, unfortunately.
No. Also, finding a therapist in this day and age is really fudging hard. Most therapists have like at least a month, if not like half a year wait list. Not just that, it's just a lot of people need therapy, and because mental health is more accessible now, you know. But there's only a limit to how many therapists we have.
Yep.
Which reminds me, I really, really need to actually do my job searching. See, I've also got procrastination issues.
I mean, a lot of us do. We have a certain degree of like actually procrastinating, and I don't know. That's just normal at that point. Like procrastination, there's a certain level that's like normal, and it's like whether you accept that as a normal thing in your life or not. That's also a thing.
Yeah, I mean, while I still had my therapist, I was working on it. Technically, I shouldn't stop just because I'm not seeing a therapist, but
Oh yeah, no. I
it's hard
should
to
do a
work on
lot.
it on your own.
I mean, I should do a lot more. I should actually, because like now I have insurance, health insurance. I believe that covers a lot of other stuff.
Yeah,
So I was like, I should do that stuff.
go,
Have I
go
been-
take care of
have-
yourself.
Have I been doing it? No. Will I do it in like soon? Probably not. Oh, but I'm trying. I'm trying.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it's just an issue is all.
You gotta take care of yourself as much as that's really weirdly complicated.
Yes, it sounds easy on paper.
If you learn nothing, take care of yourself. Learn to take care of your health, both mental and physical.
Exactly.
That's weirdly a higher bar than I think.
Yeah, for sure. And I hate that it's such a high bar, to be honest.
Right?
It's like it sounds like so easy to do. It's like you
Should have a low point of entry, but no.
it's almost like it's like how you tell people to do things, and sometimes it's easy to do those things. But very specific tasks are just like so hard to just do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
God, I wish that any client that I've ever had could just do the thing that I told them to do. That would make their life easier. It does not work that way
yeah.
at all,
I
and that's okay. But God,
yeah,
makes so many people's lives easier.
I've had that mindset of like I should just do it, and yes, it has worked in certain cases. Like that's why it's like some streamings and other things have like if I just do it, I can start getting into a rhythm because I get that, but it doesn't always work, unfortunately. And like maintaining it is difficult. Like I know that I have like this also inkling with some maintaining issues. Like if I don't go into the habit of like sitting down playing on my phone, and I just push through that whole inkling feeling, I get to finish the task sooner and feel better about it.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Wait,
but
it's such a large energy. Ugh. Yeah, no, I fucking get it. I would say that TikTok has ruined my ability to stay on a thing, but let's be real. Literally before I installed TikTok, I would scroll through YouTube's recommend.
oh my god, I still do that.
And I would scroll through it. I wouldn't even click on a video. I would just fudging. There's a hat, right? I would just fudging. Let the video, if it looked interesting, kind of play to see what it was about. But I would sometimes watch a whole video on silent because I wouldn't even click on it. I would just like stare at it as it was on my.
Oh, I do that with Facebook.
Right?
Like,
Oh my god. Honestly, it's better that I'm like. It sounds weird, but it's better that I'm doing that on TikTok.
like it's like funny like how I like gone through YouTube a small YouTube phase of like watching shorts. I've actually actively stopped watching a lot of shorts. Like if I see a short, I only watch one or two. That's it. I don't go anymore because I went through like a few days of like I watch shorts and I only watch shorts for like 5 hours, and it's just like I should not do this. I should really not do this. But yeah, I have a bad habit of just like going scrolling through things like Twitter and stuff, and I do this like on a regular basis. Like I do this so often that I really need to stop doing that. Social media has taken a lot. Like I like getting information and I like talking to people, but god dang, it's taken a lot.
Yeah. I've curated my TikTok feed to be so much about social justice that if I actually can't hear. I need chat to know that I can't actually hear the music that's playing in the stream. So the only cues that I have as to what the fudge this music is like what people are like talking about.
Yep. No, don't be sorry.
No, don't apologize. I just love. I love. It's not paused. It's just muted.
I mean, I could just.
Because I don't like hearing myself.
I mean, here. How about this? I'll stream it on. I'll stream it on Discord really quickly so you can at least hear.
Fine. Just thought it was funny.
I'll just do it for you to at least hear what's going on.
How low do I have my volume?
I have no idea. I don't know what you do on Discord volume.
I have that also generally really low. Okay, that is good music. I say that like I wasn't expecting it.
You don't trust my music taste.
No, I trust your music tastes. I don't trust my own. That's actually a really good thing to train yourself, James. You don't want to. Anybody? I've had friends who've seen tabs open, and not even like all of them, just like on one though, and have been in shock and horror.
Oh,
just no, right now.
I have so many tabs. Seriously,
I
so many tabs.
wonder if there's a way to like see how many tabs. I definitely have over 100. I probably have like close to 200 tabs open at the moment. Nobody needs that many tabs open.
Nope.
But I do.
I used to have like probably over 100 tabs, but I've been actually actively being like, unless if I have a small reason, I keep you up. But if it's long enough, then I'm just gonna save you and book you. Like I bookmark it at least sometimes.
The current window that I have open, most of what's open is like things for like D&D spells, which I probably could have closed like a time ago and just never got around to it. James, I get that. I understand that, like, intellectually. And then I start thinking about it, and then I'm like, but I might need this later, or something, and then I've got it open. Yeah, I can talk myself out of just about it.
Oh boy, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, no, so, like, fucking habits, and putting in the effort to like actually do it. One of the stupid things though is so fudging TikTok, I've curated it so that it's a lot of it is about social justice and political activism and breaking down white supremacy and all of that stuff, right?
I don't have anything
What?
else.
Are you saying that I'm not a fairy?
Are you saying I don't have a big beard on me?
And a nose tattoo, nose bandage?
Nose bandage. I tried to make up a nose bandage for him.
Oh my god. Honestly, I really like this character profile pick. I should use it for more stuff.
It is nice. I was tempted to actually go.
Pork is kind of shaped like a brick.
I mean, kinda. I mean, okay, one of the things I was actually trying to do, and I haven't done in a long time because I've been procrastinating on it because it's not one of my top priorities, is actually Photoshop a few of our character portraits so they don't have backgrounds behind them.
Oh, yeah. I could probably, like, actually, because I still have the...
I don't doubt you. It's just one of those things, like, I've been trying to do that, but... Yeah.
Again, would you do anything without consequences?
Yes, exactly, because there's no real consequence outside of just you seeing literally Janine have a background behind her.
Honestly, I could have done so much with that background.
You probably could have, yeah.
But like, but yeah, doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Though I have found, and I really appreciate the thought process, that like laziness isn't actually like a thing, in with the connotations that we generally put on it. There's almost always a reason for doing something, and even if it's not doing something so that you're not doing anything, that is rest. That is good. So the connotation that we put on lazy is actually shame that we're heaping onto ourselves
Or other people.
and isn't actually helpful, or like calling ourselves lazy isn't actually helpful for us doing the things that we want to be doing. And it's like shaming ourselves for resting, or shaming ourselves for having a barrier. And the concept of, well, you'll do it if you want to do it, is like so hurtful, because again, it's like you're saying that you don't want something enough to do it, which is so stupid. Because like that's not how everybody works, right? You're not gonna just do something just because you really want the thing, or like the concept of, if you cared enough about it, you would do it. Like, great. I love art. I really love art. I care about making art so much. Like, you know how much I love art, right?
Yeah, I do, and I just hate that.
Does that mean that I managed to get myself to paint every day? No! Fudge no!
Dude,
Heck, I don't think I've painted in the last, like, 7 days, even.
Dude, I have the amount of people that like the things I hear, like it's like, if you care about it, you should do something. If you don't, like, it's that the whole feeling just hurts. It really does.
Right?
It's like, I do like certain things. I really do. Programming is something I really do like. But it's definitely, I can't do it every single day. I legit can't.
There's a limitation. There are limitations to what you can do, and saying that it's because you don't care about the thing enough isn't true most of the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is because you really don't actually care about it, in which case, all right, you don't care about it. But like, when you do actually care about the thing, which in many cases you do to some degree, like, that's not helpful. It doesn't motivate you to do it. It doesn't make you feel better about not doing it. Like, it's like somebody kicking you while you're down. Like, great.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get up because you just kicked me. But it makes it's so bizarre. And I hate that concept that we have in our society, that you'll do something just because you're really invested in it, or you're not doing the thing because you're not invested in it.
Yeah.
I mean, fudge, if that were true, then I would fudging travel more often than I do, or like, I would never procrastinate a day in my life ever again, right? That's not gonna happen. Wanting to do something and invested in something, barriers to entry and the barriers to doing the thing aren't there. Even if we can't know what they are or see them, doesn't mean they're not there. Anyway. Sorry, little tirade.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, are you feeling better at least, that?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. I just. Ugh. I get worked up about my stuff.
Oh, I get that. Everyone does.
It's my area of interest.
I mean, when you talk about your area of interest, it's always like one of those things is that people really want to talk about the area's interests. always have that bad feeling of like, and like many others too, of like, oh, I probably am boring you or talking too much about my areas of interest. I do. I have that feeling too much. Like, something I'm passionate about, I talk about it. And I feel bad for the other person just being silent there and just listening and being like, this must be really confusing you or boring you or whatever.
Especially when you feel like the other person doesn't understand what you're getting at, and you're just like, fuck.
That's true. Yeah, it's true. Like, I feel like sometimes some people like actually do listen, but other times they just don't. They just say they're listening, but they don't really show that much of interest.
Oh my god. How the fuck did you pronounce that username?
Sigh. I just say sigh.
Cool. Yes, Sai, yes! Especially when it's like you're bragging about your skill, when it feels like you're bragging about your skills, but you're not, you're just, like, wanting to talk about the thing.
Mm-hmm. It does suck, and it really does. Like, sometimes you just need to reconfirm people like you actually are listening and whatnot. You know, it's funny, like, I do like to listen to people, but I know that my mind starts blanking. Like, you know, like how you can't pay attention to something for too long and then you start blanking on what you're paying attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have those moments way too often. I'm trying to find ways to not do that. And one of it's like actually playing on my phone with a specific game that I like to play with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a little puzzle game, and it's literally me playing on my phone doing that, and it's somehow like I don't know if you can understand it completely, Janine, but I legit play on my phone with this specific app, but it somehow makes me pay attention more to what someone's saying. Like, it legit does.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. First off, that's definitely a thing that a lot of people with can't talk anymore. People with ADHD do. Actually, when we play D&D, I usually have like a phone game or something open.
Yeah, I try to too.
Right. What I actually ended up such I'm a nerd. In class, I would have on, because we always brought our laptops to class, right? So what I would have open in one of my browser tabs is I would have Sudoku open.
Oh.
And so I'd be playing Sudoku while class is going on because it kept me awake.
Yes. Yes.
Like, even if I wasn't focusing on everything that was going on in class, at least I wasn't like falling asleep or completely lost in my own thoughts. Because I dissociate. And that's if I have daydreamed through class before, and it was not.
Oh, I get that. I get that
not
feeling.
helpful. But like, it is, yeah, no, 100%, yes. But then you feel bad for like being on your phone and stuff in front of a person talking,
no.
because you're like, I swear to God, I'm paying attention. I'm listening to what you are saying. This is just making it so that I like don't
Zone out.
lose what is happening.
No, I do. Yeah, I feel bad because I think like the previous when I was dating, I had to explain to my girlfriend at the time, was like, I'm playing on my phone so I could pay attention to what you're saying. Like, I legit, like, I look like I'm just like being like you have a dinner or it's like, or like you're having a serious conversation and just like I look like I'm not paying attention. Like, from the outside perspective, it looks like I'm literally like don't care and I'm not paying attention to you, but it's like, I swear I'm doing this because it helps me to legit just pay attention to specifically what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's such a
And
weird
yeah,
thing.
it does when somebody's doing that. I fortunately have gotten used to it. But like 100%, it does then, like, if they're not then verbally interacting, it will feel like the person that's like on their phone and stuff isn't paying attention to what they're saying.
Exactly, yeah.
And oh God, with anybody who has any amount of rejection sensitivity, I can only poorly that goes then.
Oh yeah, big time.
Right.
One of the sad realities are some people aren't even attentive and interested in what you talk about. Yes, true. From a perspective, it probably seems like that you don't care, but that doesn't make any sense, and that doesn't make sense. Yeah, like it doesn't. Like, I have to definitely reconfirm with people. So like when I meet someone new, I actively try not to use that on my phone because I want to make sure that they feel comfortable, like they feel like I'm actually paying attention to you.
Yeah.
But when it's like with around people like Janine or something like that, I would literally, like, we're on a conversation, like Emoto or Janine or something like that, I would literally pull out my phone and be like, I'm playing on my phone to pay attention to you. Do what?
Yeah.
Because I know Janine. I'm pretty sure Janine knows me enough that I do pay attention.
Oh, dude, you've pulled out your like Game Boy before while we were in the conversation playing, and the only reason I think that I realized even was because I was because I think you like made a comment about the game at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise I was just like, yeah. I was like, yeah, that's perfectly normal behavior. Didn't question it at all. I was like, yep.
Yep, no more. Oh, really. Oh, I'm kind of probably talking to me. It's like Jesus and complimenting me about being. I was nodding along, but my mind was wandering. Yeah, it's one of those things. I legit cannot sit down and listen to someone for a long period of time. Like, if I don't do anything to help me, I'm not gonna be paying attention.
What, you don't want to just listen to my tirades about psychology?
I can, and I can, I legit can. But if you literally just have me just sit there, not do anything, and just stare at you,
No.
I'll either do some things. Either I'll stare and zone out to a point where I literally lose like 10 minutes of what you're talking about, or I fall asleep. Not because you're boring, it's just because I lose my attention span so hard.
You don't know. I need to sit you down and let you listen to my... Actually, my presentations apparently are surprisingly engaging and intense.
You see, this is the issue with like lectures. I legit like some lecture topics, but a lot of them, like, if I don't like constantly do something to pay attention to my brain, like maybe someone taking notes, I fall asleep. I legit have fallen asleep so many lectures that I feel so bad.
Cough, cough. That time that I had an 8:30 a.m. Calculus class, I slept through that class. I would go to class and then fall asleep at my desk. I'm not even joking.
That makes sense.
I gotta be in that class.
I've fallen asleep for so many classes. I've legit, like in high school, fell asleep so many times in like my comp gov class, AP comp gov, so much that I legit had to, like, they legit made a joke with me.
Yeah. Why is it so easy to fall asleep in class?
It's because it's a boring lecture.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
It's basically like the engagement. Like, if I'm physically doing something or engaging with people, I pay attention a little bit better. But if it's just like straight up like, sit there, you take notes, or you pay attention and listen. That's it. No more other engagement. That's it. No questions or anything. It's a legit boring AF presentation.
Yeah. Which sucks when you're interested in the topic. And
Yep.
I'm glad that you're getting passable. Hey, C's get degrees.
C's does get degrees. Like,
Unless you're in a master's, then apparently at least.
you need an A at that point.
Oh god.
Yeah, no, I like passing. At least you get passing. I don't give a.
Hey, yeah, then get C's and learn what you want.
I mean, some people care about masters. I care about masters only to a point where if I can actually afford it.
You still shouldn't flunk your classes.
You shouldn't, yeah.
So that's I don't know actually how old you are.
It
No, getting straight A's isn't the important part. Again, C's get degrees.
Yeah, if you are not going for a master's or anything like that, you're basically yeah, like the only thing like you need is getting a bachelor's and doing enough like experience to get a job after bachelor's. That's all you get.
Most, I think, I don't know if this still is a thing, but driver's licenses for when you're a teenager, your GPA somehow mattered, I think. But honestly, your grades, as long as you're not, like, as long as you're getting a good enough grade for the degree, or whatever that you're doing, the only reason to get good grades is to get into the next higher level of education.
Yeah, like grades after getting a bachelor's only matter after the first couple jobs. Like once you get that first solid job and onward, pretty much your grades don't really fully matter. That is again, like unless you're getting like the next degree or whatnot.
Yeah, as long as you're not trying to get to the next school, you're really fine.
Grades were first good at my first course. Stressed out spending. Yeah, again, like doing all that work is different, and it was such a different thing. Like, oh, I remember high school being like, oh, AP classes, or like, oh, these are gonna be as hard as college classes or whatnot. Heck no.
Oh, wait, was AP easier?
AP was a bit easier for me, yes.
Fudging, I did IB. IB was insane. Also, our school didn't know how to do IB. But, like, IB was insane.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to do one, potentially, but I didn't do it well enough in my classes, because, like, I just didn't do a lot of the...
That's probably good.
I mean, it would have prepared me better for, like, certain classes, but that's it. Whatever.
Dude, I was dying from IB.
Yeah.
Where I got.
Alright.
I feel like I would still go back and again, like, running it the entire time.
Yeah.
Also, oh my god, James, that reminds me of, like, fudging Emoto telling me, like, that apparently most of our group that first, like, during that first semester where I started were, like, flunking and, like, failing their classes.
Okay. To be fair, Janine, one of my classes was I went a little over my head, but I also took it way too much for granted.
Yeah.
The also other thing is that one of them, I think a lot of us were taking chemistry.
That could be. I liked chemistry.
Not for sapling. Not sapling.
Oh, no, I don't think.
Sapling was the bane of a lot of our existences.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I stopped.
God, right? That stupid program.
That's why I stopped. Like, I wanted to just do chemistry as my basic set of sciences for graduation, and it's like I gave up on that and instantly went to physics, cause like sapling I did not even want to deal with anymore.
Yeah, my lab partner from chemistry ended up becoming a became a chemistry major.
Really?
Yeah, it was really funny. Apparently I was a good enough lab partner that I explained things well enough.
That's good. I remember.
I hated Bio 101.
At least you didn't take OChem.
Oh god. Technically kinda did. That was okay. Fudge Bio 101. I hated that, not because I hated biology, just because I hated the way that the professor ran her class. Right? You look in the microscope and you don't know what you're looking at. Like, alright, there's a thing that kind of looks like it's wiggling, but I don't know what the fudge that is because it looks like the other thing that isn't wiggling.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
One degree is pretty good.
Yeah, I never took biology at Western, so I would not know. I only taken chemistry 101 and physics with calculus. I didn't take regular physics. I took physics with calculus. Actually, I took general physics at one point, just because. And yeah, that was a time. I slept through all
I
that.
never took physics.
Physics is fun. Honestly, it's like a more complicated math for sure.
I could see that.
Like
No.
physics uses a lot more math and stuff like that, and it's definitely a lot more fun. Well, not a lot more fun. It's definitely a lot more like you have to memorize a lot more formulas and everything, and make sure you know what they are. Like it's a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing a string under a microscope looks dope. I mean, yeah.
You'd stand underneath the microscope. It's dope.
There's a lot of things that like looking at the microscope is pretty cool. Have you seen like those videos of people actually looking under microscopes and like those very tiny things, and like even animated atoms to do like a little animation and stuff like that?
Yes.
You know what's funny is that there's like microscopic things are always interesting because there's like all those like little bugs that are fat, but they're so tiny that you can't even see them with the naked eye. Like, you know what I'm talking about, right, Janine?
I think so.
They're like big fat looking slugs, but with like
Oh.
no eyes and just a mouth.
Oh, water bears?
Yes, I think that's what they are.
They're called-
What the heck is it called? Water bears?
I don't remember. I think it's maybe that if you add water. I don't know.
I've learned that scientists are never good at naming things. And this is coming from an actual scientist. I mean, to be fair, when I make computer programming stuff, when I name things, they never make sense. But yeah,
I mean-
microscopic things are interesting. What?
Naming things are difficult.
Yeah. Actually, one of the interesting little critters that I saw like under the microscope was pretty cool. Was methane worms. I remember seeing it in like a biology book, and it was a very cool thing to look at because there's like these are actual worms that can live in like harsh environments, and yet they are super hard. Like they're super microscopic and everything. They're really cool looking. At least to me, they are.
There's a lot of fascinating stuff.
I mean, that's why I like that. I like the ocean when you can discover certain things living in like deep things.
Dude, the ocean is fascinating. Fine.
That's one of the things I want to help like invest in and research in, because like the ocean is something that we definitely need to more discover, because we don't know what's down there, and we don't know what it could benefit. At least that's my opinion.
No, I think there's a lot of stuff still.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to first stop killing our ocean, but
Well, yeah, of course we can't keep doing that.
I think there's a lot that we don't know about. Well, I could just add the period there. There's a lot that we don't know about.
Yep.
There's a lot we do, but there's so much that we don't.
Math is an important class for getting a science STEM degree. Like, if you're going for a STEM degree, a science degree in any regard, math is always there.
I think that math is really fudging.
I think math is always important, no matter how much
Math
people
is always
complain.
important, regardless of what you go into. Math is important. However, unless your field directly, like, heavily engaged, like, higher level math, I think what is far more important than just like an understanding of math is an appreciation for math, and teach math correctly for that to happen. Because most people end up hating math because it's not taught in a way that makes sense to most.
Yeah, it's very simple by the books. Like, if you don't understand the numbers, you're not gonna succeed. It's like, it's not about just the numbers. It's about learning about what math is and how important, and also how fun you can make it. Math can be fun. I've legit had fun math teachers before, okay?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I think the problem is that we have such a like stigma to math, and that most math teachers aren't the fun ones. As terrible as that sounds.
That is also an issue. Anyone you knew from Western? Yeah, because like the thing about like getting into subjects is like the same thing with me. I didn't know certain people going into like computer science when I started out. Only like maybe one other person in our friend group, and then like for the most part, I never knew many people when getting into the computer science.
I thought most of our friends were in computer science.
Nope. Just
Oh,
taking some math. I think only.
I thought most people from that one group, that base group, were in computer
No,
science.
no. There's like a lot of them were taking science classes, but not computer science specifically.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, because like Lissa was taking biology. Like a couple other people were taking like other STEM, like engineering and stuff.
I might have thought engineering.
Yeah.
That was science in my
I mean,
mind.
to be fair, there are like engineering classes and that are engineering jobs that could be considered computer science. Computer science is such a broad topic that is so. It's like you can literally say one thing and it could be like computer science, relatable. It's just like
Dude, I feel that with psychology.
it's like I'm going to teaching. Oh, psychology time.
Yeah. Or like fudging, I'm going into teaching, great, what subject? What age range? What do you mean you're going into teaching? Like,
You got to question everything.
there's so many things. Personally though, okay, for me, I had really good science teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Just for Saya's thing that only fun teachers are in social studies.
Yeah.
I had really good science teachers that I really
Like here's the thing. I think homework is required in certain ways, but I had some fun homework. I think one of the things is that teaching the subject is the most difficult part first and foremost, and then making it like retain it is the other issue. And you know, I think that's the issue with some teachers is that sometimes they just teach the subject and not just specifically encourage the
homework
subject.
is only useful if it's not busy work, and so often homework is just busy work.
Oh, big time.
And that's stupid, because who the fudge wants to do busy work?
I do. Just kidding.
If you did, you would have probably wouldn't have had so many missing homework assignments.
Hey, I did some of them.
I can't even preach. I had so many issues with homework in high school.
Mm-hmm. No, I did. My hard part was actually studying for tests. You know, the thing that they force you to learn the subject, but it's like a lot of times it's memorization.
I sucked at tests. I sucked at school. Which, hey, kids, if you think that you suck at school, get into a master's program. I sucked at school so badly.
Yep. Exactly.
It
I
was not.
I sucked at like even getting decent grades. I did well test. I say average. No, that's pretty good. I usually get C's. I think high school should only have 3-4 classes instead of 6. I mean, it depends. Again, like James, I get it that they want to be very general with a lot of things, and it's good to have very general things. But the issue is just what happens when you take away some of those subjects, people don't do some of those subjects. What are they gonna end up wanting to do in the future? Like
I think
that's like again, it's like the generalistic of ideas of like why they do a lot of that stuff.
I like there are certain places where rather than you having all 6 classes every single day,
Mm-hmm.
they have like 4 classes a day or something like that, but like you have 6 subjects total in the week or something like that.
That might,
Like you have
that might
more
work.
subjects, but you're in rotation.
Yeah, and that might work. I'm not
Buddy,
very dissing it.
that Pikachu is still very traumatized.
I mean, actually, wait.
I need to take a new photo. I know.
You're
it's up at
literally
the
in the home.
cabin.
You're
The
literally
next
at
time
the
that
home.
The next time that I'm up at the cabin, I will take that photo / bring the Pikachu down. I didn't have the space to bring it down before.
Yeah, I'm just like, you are literally in prime place to get it now.
Yep. Yeah, I'll get that photo. Or so.
It's funny how that thing is still up there.
Right? Also the weird poster.
I mean, the toaster is funny enough for me.
I'm glad that you appreciate that.
I appreciate the toaster. The amount of effort you put that toaster, and the amount of effort I put into coloring it. It's just...
God.
I don't even know why we made that.
I don't remember the story behind it either. All I know is that I'm slowly whipping your backgrounds.
I mean, it's funny. Let's see. Rotation
Yeah, most
system.
people don't use it past 8th grade math.
Yeah, let me choose it. Most people never use it. Yes.
Basically geometry. To get to geometry and some
I
algebra.
yeah, I mean, like,
Geometry is actually useful.
yeah, geometry and algebra are useful. Yeah, I guess calculus is more specialized areas, but I still say like a little bit of calculus doesn't hurt. Stop learning a few things in like some jobs. At least in my opinion. I think that's just me though.
Parents want their students.
Yeah.
See, okay, that's the thing. That one of the things that I will be like where I'm like, good job, America. That not all other countries really do. Is the fact that in America you don't actually have to be specialized in a field. You can jump around. That is completely an option.
That is true.
And actually a reasonable option in our like if you go to Germany, people in Germany stay with the same job. Like they don't change around. Like the most that changes is like they get a promotion. Like you don't change career paths like at all. And here you can like 1 minute you can be doing, I don't know, computer science, and the next minute you can be like, I want to start a dog sitting business or whatever. Like you can literally completely upend your life and change jobs, and that's not super frowned upon. Like that's really normal here.
Yeah, no, that is true.
And that's just beautiful. But we don't treat our studying the same way.
It's true. This is very true.
Coding requires logic.
Coding requires
Higher level math logic based. So actually, if you go into the higher level maths and philosophy, that's actually really useful for coding.
Yeah, because like here's the thing, Sai. Coding is very generalistic. Coding is literally like can be done in so many different ways. Low level coding still has some math. Like I'm literally just talking about this because I have a computer science degree. Even the lowest level of coding has a little bit of math, just not a whole lot. Yeah, there's code.
It's more of an if then. It's proofs, right?
Yeah, it's proofs, and then there's actual like plus and minus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, specialized ones, yeah, coding, but it's always good to at least know some math logic, because if you don't know any math logic, you're not gonna understand part of the coding, no matter what you do. And that's the thing about it. It's just like coding is a very, very broad subject. It's so broad now. It's like it's becoming the thing to learn nowadays.
Well, yeah, because so much of our life is dependent upon codes.
And machines.
Still.
What code doesn't require maths?
How
what
broadly are
jobs?
we talking about maths?
What jobs? IT is one. For the most part, at least, I would say.
Oh, web designing. Web design.
No, web design requires math.
A little bit, yeah. Not as much as you would think, though.
No, but if we're talking even if we go more towards the like UX perspective of that, you need to know your pixel counts and how things are gonna show up on screens. There's a lot of like,
Music producing
very
doesn't
basic.
require a lot of maths. It's good to know at least the numbers when calculating stuff. Editing, not too much with the amount of programs we have nowadays, I would say. Like, math is everywhere if you really think about it. It's just like, I don't exactly know because I don't specialize in every single one of those. Editing a little bit, but not very much.
Yeah, well, music is also can also be math-based.
Yeah, because like it's like you have to know the frequency and everything and calculate the best.
Discrete grains, transformers, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wish I could get more into like sound and like music and stuff because I really want to get better in like sound and stuff like that. But I don't know anybody that has really good on that regard.
No, I think the thing with math is that we see it as we see math as like as like this subject like we do chemistry and stuff, right? And like the higher level you go, the more you realize that everything goes into each other. But like math, and I've heard this somewhere before, math is more like a language.
Yeah, no,
Rather
that definitely agree.
Rather than it being something that's tangible like the explosion of a chemistry project, math is like learning a language. It has its rules and its grammar and it's a way of understanding the world. Just like when you learn a new language, you learn a way of viewing the world. But that's the fun of it, James. No, you're right. Chemistry projects shouldn't explode.
Explode. Just one drop of this sodium chloride.
God. You know what? I am fell pick of pyromaniac pixie. Explosions are clearly on somebody's brain.
I can tell.
I think that this conversation is proving that like I'm not actually better when it's earlier in the day. I'm bad at 2 a.m. as I am at like 10 at night.
That's why I like talking to you because it's funny.
God. I should stop being in the streams.
What Janine?
Engineering is its own.
But Janine, I have fun with you on streams.
Oh my god. I hope that no client of any streams.
Oh, that's what I hope so for many things, but I'm taking that risk. I'm just going to step on that little bomb and see how I fare.
God. Try not to say anything.
That's why I'm like definitely trying to avoid that stuff now.
You know, the funniest thing about it is that like I'm so bad about social media. The place that people really find my opinion is literally on your stream. So God.
I mean, that's the fun part.
I'm just gonna hope that I never say anything.
Just claim that it's never you, alright? It's like an evil twin doppelganger of you.
That's not me. I have an evil twin. They just sound like me. Clearly it's not me. I would never be that insane.
Never. You're not the person who causes a barn to catch on fire.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything. I simply made sure that guard did not come in. none of the rest of what happened was my fault. Actually, it's probably a good thing that like today you were like everything's Janine's fault because like honestly though, Borg might make stupid decisions, but I have caused some problems.
Out of character, yes, you have caused many problems.
I can't help it. It's such a chaos.
I know, but it's like that's why I was taking I was so like, if the devil was to hit me once, there was a high chance of me. There was like there's a very high chance of me like actually going down, and you guys would not be close enough to even heal me.
Yeah, no. Well, I had a health kit. I could have stabilized you if I got there in time.
You know, you know what's funny actually. You know when I rolled that wild chart, like my roll to see what rage I get.
Yeah.
I thought teleporting was useless.
Yeah. It's great.
If I didn't get that teleport, I would not have made it to him. I can guarantee
You know
you
what's
that.
really funny though?
Yeah.
I could have cast protection on you. I could have cast protection heal.
Yeah, you could have, and I'm just happy that Chris maybe reminded me I have a second attack on that, because it's hard to remember when I'm able to do a second attack or not.
Dude, I'm pretty sure I don't remember like even half the things that my character can do. There are so many things. I forgot that I actually regain all of my inspiration on a short rest now. That is a thing I can do now. You have no idea how useful that is, considering how much we don't take breaks.
Okay, to be fair, some of them were not suggestions of Borg. Others are just like they want to keep going.
Self-care is important.
Self-care is important, but tell that to the group that either wants to kill things, explore things, or attack things without telling the other group.
I don't... I'm trying to figure out if I've ever done any of this.
I mean, you never explore things on your own, that's for sure.
No, because I don't think I've gone off on my own. What I have done is cause problems for the group by, like, not sabotaging the group, but definitely a lot of mischief.
That is true.
And then out of character encouraging the stupid ideas.
Exactly, yeah. I like how you're chaotically a bad influence, but in character, you and Jamie's character Plink are like supposed to be like the without counting Ordeg, when we didn't have him for a while.
Yeah.
You two are literally like you two were the babysitters of me and Lissa's character.
Yeah.
And it's just like
We weren't good babysitters.
no, that time where you guys went up to the dumbwaiter thing. And then just like you left me.
And left the two chaos characters downstairs. Yeah, that was.
It was such a bad idea.
Hey, you guys survived. We survived.
Actually, I forget. Like I legit forgot about this until now. What happened to Slobber Chops?
Still. I think Jamie still feeds him.
Okay, so Slobber Chops is with us, right?
Somewhere. Yeah.
I feel like Slobber Chops should have been able to figure out certain things.
Oh, maybe. It's not like we can talk to Slobber Chops though. None of us
I
have
mean,
like speak with animal.
I
We have a
mean-
druid now. I want to claim that druid.
You want to ride that druid?
Sounds so weird.
I mean, to be fair, your other horse left you.
My other horse abandoned me. How could he?
Not-
Should have tied him to the wall.
Not your
I
fault.
swear to God, I'm playing a good character. I swear to God, I'm playing a good character.
You swear you're playing a good character, but in reality, no.
I can only play chaos somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good at any other alignment. You should fudging ask Chris about my fudging my chaotic neutral Oracle of the Bones halfling. She was such a beautiful mess. In the best way possible.
Dang.
She would pretend to be a child,
Mm-hmm.
and her charisma score and deception score was so high, with the addition of the halfling feat that gave you bonuses to pretending to be a child, that nobody could figure out that she wasn't a child unless she said something. And she had an obsession with the undead. There was literally a point in time where I was doing like a side RP thing, and Chris told me, he was like, if you're not careful with your answer right now, I'm going to have you change your alignment to evil. Because she towed that line between good and evil like it was a tightrope. She was like, it wasn't a sturdy line. That was a tightrope that she walked on, swinging like very violently between being a very good person and doing things that were generally considered evil. To be fair, one of her like ultimate goals was to create a city for the undead, because the undead are her friends. So she wanted them to be free in their own land.
Yeah.
It's just generally not like that's considered an evil thing, because undead don't actually have like free will and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. She caused a lot of. She was very, very much a very chaotic character. She also early campaign would just sleep in the back. Like everybody would be fighting, and we'd be in like a corridor, and so she would be at the back, and she would just like down for a nap while everybody else fought.
Okay.
That was the kind of character she was. Anyway.
Yeah, no, that... Gene, you have a weird sense of making characters. I'm not saying that.
Oh, I love my characters. My characters are absolutely insane. I mean, they're not actually all absolutely insane, but I have a lot of fun with them.
I mean, it's good to have fun with them, but still.
Are you being judgy of my character? I have a lot of them. Like, a whole lot of different characters
Yeah.
that I've played over the years.
Yeah, but you have a weird sense of, like, playing characters.
What? I don't think it's that weird.
I mean, you've played them interesting. That's it.
They're all just chaotic in alignment to some degree.
You never have a normal character.
I'm trying to find one to, like, disagree.
Oh yeah, please.
What do you consider a normal character?
One that doesn't cause chaotic problems.
Technically, my character Rita from a previous campaign.
Okay.
She was a tiefling eldritch knight fighter. She was very, very sweet. She was very kind. She loved fighting. And she had a pet taxidermy raccoon named Daisy. That later on, due to story beats, became a bisected taxidermy raccoon named Daisy.
Okay.
And she was very attached to that raccoon. That dead raccoon. Oh god. I don't think she really caused any problems. To be fair, she was in in that campaign, everybody else was pretty chaotic. Um, and we didn't get along with a lot of people because of like one person became a vampire werewolf.
Okay.
Through a lot of failed rolls. They just rolled very poorly on a lot of things. It was, yeah. And then we had like the spoiled princess who was part of our group, who didn't have any manners, so she would basically get into fights with like everybody because she would be rude to them. So like my character wasn't the problematic one. She was just, you know, experienced some racism. Was generally pretty happy-go-lucky. Most of my characters are pretty happy-go-lucky. I can't play angry characters.
No, you can't.
No, really don't. She might be like one of the non-trouble causing characters. My characters don't on purpose cause trouble. They just have fun in the worlds that they're in.
I guess so. Yeah.
Honestly, most of my LARP characters didn't cause me problems.
Yeah.
They just were around a lot of people who caused problems.
Yeah, I guess so.
Sorry, I'm having so many flashbacks right now.
Good flashbacks or bad flashbacks?
Oh, I enjoyed every single of them. I had, oh god, this kind of broke my heart. I had one character who due to character backstory reasons, and their species, didn't have strong attachments to the people around them and saw the world as like a story.
Yeah.
So like if they liked someone, it was more on the lines of like, oh, I like this person, like I would like my favorite character in a book. And they were very unattached to the real world.
Yeah.
Because they really just viewed themselves as like a reader of a story rather than a participating member. So there was one point in time where their friend, somebody who really actually cared about them, got stabbed in front of them. And rather than like doing anything about it, my character just like continued to take, because her whole thing was that she was like a record, like she kept the records of everything that was happening. So she wrote down what was happening in front of her, and the guy who stabbed her friend turned to her and is like, if you try anything, I'm gonna stab you too. Take this as a message. And she was like, okay, and continued to write in her book until long after the dude left. And then she finally went, like, did like a medicine check on her friend. And that friend ended up dying. And there was like in the system by relationship points. And I never for her bought relationship points towards any other character.
Relationship points.
Including her friend. And I was going to, like, it felt like it would happen soon that I would probably end up buying it, but he died before then during an event where anybody he had mutual relationships with, like friendship points or whatever points with, would also take damage.
Yeah.
And she took no damage.
Wow.
Because she didn't have any friendship points towards him.
No friendship points? Means you need friendship points in order to be
which
friends
I felt
with me.
so bad for the player, because he was like, "Oh my god, that hurts. That like you took no damage, and that you didn't care about my character as much as my character cared about your character." And I'm like, "I'm so sorry." she literally just doesn't view the world as real. um, again, she viewed it like everybody as like more of like characters in a story than like people. And the only people that she considered like that she felt like an actual like that they're real were the members of her cult. Because she was attached to them, knew them, was, you know, before she became the way that she became. So they were the only things that she really had a to, which meant that she had a really strong attachment to them. Things that she had a attachment to. Anyway, so yeah, I've played weird, messed up characters, and I love them.
You
so
have.
dearly.
You've had.
So dearly.
I feel like this Twitter I just saw is related to you, but I know you're not exactly a druid, but
Wildfire druid. Yes. Oh my god. Forest fire happened. Yeah, Orin isn't the weirdest character that I've played, but I absolutely love playing Orin.
I can tell. I can tell, very much so.
And I love Orin and Borg's dynamic.
I can't tell if Orin even like cares about Borg at this point.
I can't tell either.
I'm like, you are keeping me alive, yes, but at the same time, I feel like you also don't care if I die. I'm just like,
I mean, okay, so Orin was supposed, like, I had motivation behind. I still know what it is, but I've kind of lost it. So Orin's around because it's funny, basically. And the thing is that Borg has insulted Orin several.
okay, first off, one of those insults you did not pay attention to, so you did not react to, so I got scot-free on that one.
Oh my god, okay, so even more reason. No. And Orin can't, like, does not let insults go. So there's that. But I think Orin also just thinks it's hilarious to mess with Borg.
I mean, Borg is starting to care about Orin, but at the same time, Orin's not showing that enough, so it's like, I don't even know what you're doing at this point.
I guess to Orin, you're like a really funny... You're like a video game that is either really, really funny to mess with or becomes really annoying. And there's no in between.
I mean, I protected Orin a couple times.
You have. Again, Orin has picked up healing spells. That is a huge step for Orin. It means that Orin cares enough about this party to keep them.
Yes, that's true. I've taken multiple hits too, in protection of everyone else.
It's your job. I say that like it's not my job to keep you alive.
Well, it's my job to take hits, but at the same time, I feel like I'm supposed to be the one that does the hitting, not the one that's supposed to be almost dead.
No. Also, Orin's actual job as a bard is to do most of the skill checks.
Oh, okay.
Orin is basically utility. That's what Orin is built for. Orin is utility. That's why they aren't good at fighting. Or why I was really hesitant about making better at fighting.
Okay.
Is because they're supposed to be utility and also just weird fayness.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. Oh god, I'm realizing it's almost mid.
We've been talking for a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has been. I miss our hangouts and chats.
As Chad. Bitches.
James just be like, I'm getting tired. I'm bored now. To everyone who has actually been listening to, I appreciate. or random chit chatter. James just be like, I'm bored.
Yeah. I appreciate everybody who listens to my
Mm-hmm.
experience.
I'll always listen. Always interesting to listen. We just don't hang out enough because, like, this past year when you were at the university and like other years, it's like you just like school started. I gotta commit to that, and then not only that, 3 hours ahead, I can't commit to anything else.
Yeah, I also just like getting the energy levels up. Nothing's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I can get back into socializing now. Because I
Yeah.
do like it. I get so much energy from socializing.
I mean, that's why I keep doing like streams and hang out with you guys, because that's how it keeps me going.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I'll be like pretty bored in a lot of cases. I've said this like in my 3rd anniversary stream and like streams and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm still sad that I missed that.
Oh, it's fine. Like the worst stream I still consider one of the worst streams I've ever done was straight up was specifically I think my 3rd
It wasn't
stream.
a 24-hour stream, right?
No, I never have done that. I will do a 24-hour stream at some point. I will commit to that, but I don't feel comfortable doing it at the moment.
That's fair.
But I will say like I was like my 3rd stream, and it was like one of my worst ones because this was before you joined. This was only a time where Kyle was there and Carl was really the only ones big, and maybe a couple other people, but
Yeah.
it was bad because Kyle was like he had to do something that time, which understandable, he does stuff, but I
Kyle
only,
does things.
yeah, Kyle does things, but I did it only because I needed to commit to a schedule, which I kind of did, but I also did not really, I was not in the biggest mood for that. I had a headache, I was just really not feeling great, but I streamed anyway. And no one was there watching, and like because everyone else was busy and never contacted anyone else, I just ended up really hating that stream overall.
Yeah.
Like I straight up should not have streamed that day, but I did it because I wanted to maintain that weekly schedule, which in a sense did cause me to continue on. It was just not a great stream, and it was just rough in a lot of ways. Stream yourself sleeping, eating, breakfast, work, and that's called vlogging. Maybe at one point I'll vlog a little bit, but other than that, no. So Janine, are you gonna go to bed soon, or are you gonna stay up a little bit?
I should go to bed.
You're actually gonna have a good night's like regular sleep?
I should go, I've been waking up so late. I should go to bed, get to sleep at a reasonable time.
Oh yeah.
So that I can wake up early enough tomorrow to get some stuff done.
Oh yeah, I go to bed at like on Tuesday because like I go to work pretty early. I have to go to bed around like 10 now. On Tuesday, specifically Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, because I go to office on every other day except Mondays and Fridays.
Hey.
Yep. But yeah, well, thank you guys so much for watching and enjoying like either you were here earlier watching our D&D stream.
Way earlier.
Way earlier. Or you've been hearing us chit chat. Either way, we appreciate you guys. It was actually legit fun going back to D&D. It was stupid things happened.
There's a reason I can't stop PGs. It's stupid.
I'm glad some of our stupid things actually did not backfire at us for once.
Oh my god, so much could have gone.
I was, again, like, I was trying to literally have enough health to take on the devil. I was
Oh god.
I was like, Jamie was like, I enlarge you. I'm a bigger target. Chris hits me. I lose all my temporary health and lose 8. And it's like, you heal me. Chris does 2 crits on me.
Chris just shouldn't be around dice.
No, he
Because that's not fair.
No, I was like, that's why I was like, I wanted to legit kill that devil. Partly because like he might call people. But at the same time, I just wanted to kill him.
I'm just happy that I managed to kill him in that one fell move. 7-foot satyr towering over the person. Chop him
I
down.
think you were 14.
Oh yeah, 14.
You were 7. You were 14-foot tall satyr. That's a nightmare.
It's just like staring down at you and just a giant ass raging and
We should definitely do that more often.
I'm not down. I like Borg goes with everything, like literally everything.
Yeah, we can basically just mess with Borg and
I mean, you gave me googly glasses, and that somehow, that one time, somehow managed to sneak past enemies. But no, you did not do it for the rest of you guys.
Because clearly you were the only person who needed a disguise.
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, I like how some of my stupid ideas have even worked, like throwing Jamie around. Some of that stupid ideas actually worked. The first time I did that was through the sewer, and how she actually was like, "Time to go ball mode," and it's like actually defeated that, like stopped that boss really well. Again, like,
Okay, we
somehow-
should wrap up because it is literally just turned midnight.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm looking forward to more fun next. Actually, it's gonna be October next month, like next time we do this. So yeah. Well,
We'll be on.
Halloween, spooky Halloween. And yeah, but yeah, thank you Janine, and thank you everyone who joined us. Everyone, hope everyone take care, and everyone, just take it easy for tonight, and everyone stay safe. Oh yeah, thanks Sai for just joining in and like actually just hanging out. Honestly, I think it's like fun just chatting out. That's why I like to do the D&D streams, just end and chat randomly.
Yeah.
But I was gonna see who can re-raid, and surprisingly enough, I think our buddy Andrew is raiding. It's streaming right now.
Oh, I was like, what?
No, not raiding, but yeah, he's streaming right now. We can raid him. Yeah, later,
Hey,
Will.
Dragon.
Yeah,
Oh, is
later. That's Will specifically.
Hey, Will. Talk to you.
Yeah. But I hope everyone takes care of themselves. Everyone stay safe. And of course, I'll see you guys in another stream, whether it be mine or someone else's. Everyone, take it easy. And, well, we'll see you another time. And I might stream more later. But I have other streams planning that I will actually mention to you later, Janine. Because I actually have some fun plans that you might be interested in. But,
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
but...
good.
Yeah, but anyway, everyone take care, and everyone have a good night. Later, guys!